Good evening, this is Nicholas from Gandora Gaming, and I'm super excited to go over these new ritual cards with you. We have the new Nouvellez archetype revealed. This is a ritual archetype that was revealed all the way back when the new dinosaur stuff was teased at. We know what the rituals look like. We still don't have the effect for that ritual or its name. But all we knew was that it was a ritual and had a chef's hat. So I always thought it was like a hungry burger archetype. And here we are. We have 5 new archetype cards. And none of them were that ritual. So meaning we have more ritual stuff coming our way. And more cards revealed soon enough. So let's just go over this. So this is Neku Rumi no Recipe. Or Meat Recipe. The ritual spell. You can only use this effect to special summon any Nouvellez ritual monster. Ritual summon 1 Nouvellez ritual monster from your hand by attributing monsters on your field or hand as the total equal exceeds the total ritual summon. When a ritual summoned contra di Nouvellez with this effect, you can change all opponents' defense position monsters to face-up attack position. So that's really, really interesting. So basically this card says, hey, change all your opponent's monsters to attack position. Which is weird. Why would their monsters be in defense? I don't know. This card seems really interesting, but it's one of those you have to read the rest of the archetype to see. But as a ritual spell, it seems pretty normal. This says, hey, ritual summon 1 Nouvellez ritual monster by attributing the above materials from your hand or field. But in the whole effect of changing all your opponent's defense position monsters to face-up attack? Like, what is this, a flip effect negation? Like, I really don't understand why you'd be flipping up your opponent's monsters in attack position. I'm assuming their monsters would already be in attack position, so I'm not sure why they're flipping them from face up, from face down, unless there's a new flip archetype I don't know about that's going to sweep the meta, that Sub-Terrors are now the best deck. I'm really not sure, so really strange effect for a ritual spell, and maybe this will help clarify. We have that other ritual spell, Rete de Poison, Poison Fish Recipe, ritual spell. You can only activate this effect once per turn. Well, not that true. You can only use this effect to ritual summon any Nouvellez ritual monster. And basically, ritual summon 1 Nouvellez monster by attributing the monsters from hand or field that exceed the level. And then, it gains the effect where, if you ritual summon 1 ritual monster with Boni no Divigi, with this effect, you can add 1 recipe ritual spell from your deck to graveyard, or graveyard to your hand. So that's strange. The idea is that when you ritual summon, you add a Nouvellez ritual spell, a recipe ritual spell from your deck to graveyard. Really interesting. We have to see the rest of this mechanic to see how good this is. But basically this says, hey, ritual summon, add another ritual spell afterwards. Which seems pretty alright. That seems like a pretty good effect for rituals. Because it basically says, hey, if you complete a ritual summon, you get to replace it with another ritual spell, allowing to keep ritual summoning, which is cool. But again, we have to read these rituals to see how good they are. And so far, these effects are very strange. The fact they flip all monsters face up is strange. The fact that this one just says add another version of that spell card is quite weird. And it's a poison fish, I guess. Even though all these people look like they're coming from an anime that tests food. Really, really strange archetype. Kind of reminds me of that movie I just saw last year. What was that movie called? They're like murderers, but they're chefs. I forgot what it was called. You can see it on HBO. But we have a new field spell now. A table field spell. Nouvelle Bluri the Table. It's a field spell. And basically it says, when this card is activated, add 1 recipe card from your deck to or graveyard to your hand. And once a turn, place 1 ritual monster from your hand on the bottom of the deck, draw 1 card. And during the end phase, target 2 cards in your graveyard, at least 1 recipe card, place it on the bottom of the deck, and then draw 1 card. So it's a really cool mulligan effect, I guess. You get to play rituals back in the deck in order to draw. But I'm not sure how good that is, because, again, we haven't read the rituals, so I don't know how important that is to the strategy. Not to mention their main ritual, which we've seen in the cover art, hasn't even been revealed yet. So far, all these cards seem a little lackluster, honestly. Like, during the end phase, target 2 cards in your graveyard and return them at the deck, draw 1. That's cool, but as a field spell, that's kind of shitty. And then when this card's activated, add 1 recipe from your deck to hand. And once a turn, place 1 ritual to draw 1. I just don't know. None of these cards seem like earth-shattering broken. So until we read these rituals, I'm not really impressed with this archetype so far. And I'm a big proponent of ritual decks be good. So who knows? Let's just read on to the next card, and hopefully it's enough to break the archetype. Alright, so now we have a new ritual monster, level 3 Dark Beast Warrior ritual monster. This is Porte de Nouvellez. This is a level 3, attack 12,000, defense 1850. Weird defense. I like it. And then this card says, when this card is ritual summon, this card has, with any rituals card, a recipe card, I guess the ritual spells or recipes, you can activate the first effect and the second effect of this card once per turn. First effect is, if this card is supposed to summon, you can draw one card. And then if this card or effect is activated, it targets a monster on the field, or when a monster is targeted for attack, quick effect, you can tribute one or tribute to both one Nouvellez monster you control and one attack position monster on either's field. And if you do, special summon one level 4 or 5 Nouvellez ritual monster from your hand or deck. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Basically, the quick effect Stormforth to summon out a ritual from your deck. That's kind of interesting, but it does require your opponent to activate cards that target monsters on the field, or when monsters is targeted for attack. So it's very telegraphed. Meaning, if you don't mess with them, they won't mess with you. But if you mess with them, they're tributing your dudes and then summoning out a level 4 or 5 Nouvellez ritual monster from the hand or deck. Meaning that the new ritual that we still don't have the effects of is a level 5. Which is quite interesting. Not to mention, this thing special summons a level 4 or 5 Nouvellez ritual monster. And the 2 ritual monsters we have revealed are a 3 and a 2. Meaning there's still another level 4 or 5 rituals. So there's 2 more rituals we have still looking forward to this archetype. So that's kind of strange. And then now we have the new ritual, level 2 Dark Warrior ritual monster, Confide de Nouvellez. It's an 800 attack, 1850 defense. And you can only ritual summon this card with recipe cards. You can only use the first and second effect of this card once per turn. If this card is special summoned, you can target spells and traps you're on the field, destroy it. Cool. Target spells and traps is great, but that's not the great part. And then if this card or effect is activated, targets this card or cards target this card for attack. Tribute both this card and another attack position monster on either field. And if you do, special summon a level 3 or 4 Nouvellez ritual monster from your hand or deck. Seems really cool. So I guess the whole gimmick of this deck is that you use this one, tribute your monster and your opponent's monster to summon out the level 3. Level 3 tributes himself and another monster your opponent controls to summon out the level 4. I'm assuming the level 4 does the same thing, going to the level 5. Really, really interesting archetype with the whole tributing mechanic of your opponent's monsters. I hate the fact that it says your opponent has to declare an attack, or if it's targeted with card effects, which isn't great. I guess how else would you remove it? But I guess untargeting removal kind of deals with these guys, which really sucks. But, or there's negation. They can make a negate while this guy is sitting there doing nothing. And then they just, when you attack you, and then bam, you try to negate it, they just go, I guess this is tribute for cost? That's a good question. If it tributes for cost, I guess that's cool. They can't respond to it. Maybe that's what. Maybe they can't respond to the tribute. So that's actually pretty solid. Who knows? You have to tell me in the comments. Hope you guys like and enjoy. And hopefully they'll reveal more cards soon.